Hello. If you can see me, if you can hear me, give me a 1 in the comments. Hey, Dorinda. Dorinda, I'm liking what I see in your roadmap so far. It looks amazing. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to put it, look, see it all come together. All right, y'all, let me get myself together. All right, come on in. Come on in. Hello, everyone. Coach Jay here. Yeah. She said, thank you, Jesus. I love it. I love it. All right. Higher timeline only. That's the only timeline we are going to be on. So I'm still going to bring the conviction, but I also want to get us to start really deepening the work that we're doing. There's a lot of people that have decided to stop thinking. Let's just, call it the truth, There's a lot of people that are giving up. There's a lot of people that said, I just, let me avoid, because I'm gonna tell you this too. A lot of times when we see a lot of people going back and forth, that is also a symptom of avoidance. That was a revelation for me. So when you see people going back and forth and fighting, Spirit was like, that is a symptom of avoidance. That is a symptom of people that instead of focusing on their spirits and their soul mission, is really their soul mission, because the soul is the mind, the soul is you, spirit is God, breath to keep you alive, to keep your body operating on your behalf so that your soul can do what it's supposed to do. Do y'all feel me? Is the mic on? Okay, is the mic on? I probably need to repeat what I just said. When people have taken the time, okay? When people have taken out the time to go back and forth online about things that they know for a fact that they're not ever going to change, okay? The things that they'll never ever change. And they go back and forth to project their beliefs. And I'm telling you this because I've been through that. I have done that myself. But when we get to a place where we know we have a soul mission, okay? We know we have a soul mission. And instead of us focusing on that soul mission, we decide to go back and forth with the powers that be or the people online that we'll never ever meet. These individuals, right? These people, we tend to step into a place of avoidance because it is much easier to go back and forth with people online. It is much easier for people to do that because it doesn't take much thought. And so what happens is that we forfeit or we put aside or we avoid the mission of our soul, what our soul is supposed to be doing. And instead, we start focusing on what the body wants when our spirit, the spirit is God, right? The breath that allows us to walk around and operate as beings on this planet. The soul is us. The soul is the mind is us, right? And because our soul has a mission, which is to leave the world 1% better in so many ways than the way we came in, we really do have to step back and say, okay, so am I suppressing my soul mission because I don't want to do, and I want to wake everybody up, when in actuality, It's not about waking people up. It's about allowing our soul and our mission to be in alignment to the higher call, the higher being of who we are. And so it's going to really take you having some self-control. And I think this is also why we have to remember that the powers that are here is to keep us from moving the way that we're supposed to be moving and from doing what we're supposed to be doing. That's why all these systems are set in place for people like you and myself. They're here to keep us distracted from what your mission is on this planet. And it's hard to ignore it, but you got to train yourself to go bypass it. Why am I saying this? And I'm going to be very honest. Oof. It's going to be harder than I thought. It's going to be harder than I thought. And I say this with all the love in the world. I want to tell everybody thank you for those of you who have been sending me, tips to get back on TikTok. Tips to get back on TikTok in so many ways. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I appreciate people for thinking of me, because they know I was rising up, on the TikToks of the world. But I'm going to tell you this, since being off TikTok, my mind has been able to expand big time. I'm not saying that I'm never, ever going to get back on TikTok. That's not what I'm saying. I'm going to get back on there once everything opens back up. But this was a break that I needed to have in order to get some things I needed to get done. And one of that was a leadership development program, which a skills development program, which you just launched today, because we have a couple of prospects in the corporate sector that actually wants to work with us. They want to develop and pay for their some of their professionals or their employees to be trained. And I'm telling y'all, I've been telling y'all for the longest that the era that we're going in, you got to teach people something. So in other words, you have to be able to clear your mind to create value. Your yes, Dorinda, like I everything I create is very intentional. And we are a creative being. I am a creative being. And that is going to come by way of us having and getting still about what we're supposed to be doing. And it's going to take us being a little bit more, it's going to take us a little bit more, like getting out of FOMO, right? Getting out of FOMO. And I'm going to tell y'all this, and I love y'all. Many of us, we have got to start back reading again. We have got to take a break from trying to get our voice heard about stuff that we will never be able to control, because all of this stuff is written already. It's already written. And so if I didn't take the time, and I really believe, and I'm going to be honest with you, most of this stuff, I just thank God that it happened in so many ways. And I'm not saying everything. I'm talking about the TikTok thing for me, because I was like, you know what? Because TikTok, baby, listen, me and my friends, we were like, girl, look at this TikTok. Girl, look at this TikTok. Girl, look at this TikTok. Ain't nothing wrong with TikTok. I think TikTok is the way TikTok is, and I get it. I ain't gonna lie. I love me some TikTok now. Hey, I love it. But I needed that little step back. Look, I'm getting animated. I had to give me a little step back, because the step back allowed me to come back to center. Amen, somebody. Amen. I mean, we just got to call it for what it is. And I appreciate that time because I was able to, like I said, get back into self and get back into where my mind, what my soul wanted to do. And when we're in with spirit, people think spiritual warfare is just God versus, it's really the spiritual warfare is on your mind. Your mind is up for grabs, baby. Ain't nothing more important going on in the world right now that people want than your mind. I hope y'all heard what I said. Your mind is worth more than oil. It is worth more than gold. It is worth more than everything. I just want y'all to understand your soul. And I ain't even talking about from an eternity standpoint. See, a lot of people think that I'm talking about, get saved and give your life to Jesus. And I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I ain't talking about that. Your mind is the most valuable thing on this planet, baby. If everybody lost their mind, everything would collapse on site, like everything. If everybody lost their mind, as long as your mind is under control, and losing your mind is a part of a control. So you can lose your mind under another power. See, a lot of us about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, for those of us that can go all the way back there, you was under a spell, quote unquote. You was working for corporate, you was getting your degree, you were like, I'm going to get into a career, I'm going to go up the ladder, I'm going to lead, I'm going to da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute. Hold up. Something off. Something off. And when something's off, you start to figure out like something ain't coming together for me. So what am I trying to say? What's my whole point? Is that you start to pull the pieces together and you start putting two and two together. And you say, wait a minute, this ain't right because I was told that I was going to do this, but why is the cost still going up? Or why are they telling me when I can come back from lunch and all this kind of stuff? Why am I didn't work and I didn't want to get certified in this and licensed in that, but this person did not go and get certified, but they got promotion. And see, what they'll do is gaslight you with favor ain't fair. Come on, somebody. Like, can we just come on tell the truth real quick? Can we just tell the truth? So what am I trying to tell you? Is that your mind, you can lose your mind under someone else's authority. You can lose your mind under somebody else's perception of you. Your mind, you can lose your mind by being heavily indoctrinated to the point where your word and your mouth and your speech to yourself, your self-concept is too much for you. Because people will tell you to not be loyal to yourself, to not think for yourself and say, oh, you can't trust, that's just the world talking. They'll think it's demonic because you're saying that I have this type of relationship with God, or I am God, or this, then the third. People will tell you that something's wrong with you just because you're speaking up and asking questions and curious. They will start thinking that something is off. Because why? You found your own mind. And when you find your mind, you find freedom. Why you think everybody's like getting high and drinking themselves into oblivion and taking all these drugs and stuff? It's because they're trying to escape the work that their mind is supposed to do, which is you. So we avoid problems. We avoid getting to the root cause of different things. We don't get to the root cause of things no more. We don't get to why we do what we do. And nobody wants to talk about that. Even money. People do not like to talk about money. But we will get drunk because we broke. People will go and look for toxic relationships in other people to latch on to and trauma bond each other just so that they can ignore whatever is coming up that they need to do for their mind's sake. It is your responsibility to keep your own sanity. Your sanity is your responsibility. Why is people popping pills to go to sleep? People popping pills to get up. I even go here because see, everything I say is conviction, even for me. We take pills and shots and all this kind of stuff in order to keep up with societal expectations. And then we also take pills and drink ourselves to death and get high and all these other things in order for us to avoid what we need to be doing above society for ourselves, for our own freedom, because it costs too much. Nobody wants to talk about that. We avoid responsibility. So when I talk about freedom, a lot of people get nervous about that because it's like, well, but I'm going to tell you this, if you're on a higher timeline, you are going to have to train your mind to be free and be okay with freedom. Embrace freedom. But how do I embrace freedom? How do I embrace it, Jay? Do you create value? Are you out here having complete knockdown dragouts with people about what is going on in the political arena? I was doing it too. And then a wake-up call happened. And God was like, girl, get out of that stuff. You ain't got time for that. You got too many eyes on you. You got too many people that really depend on you stepping into your leadership. I didn't say head over people. I didn't say rule over nobody. I didn't say that I got a thumb over people. That ain't. But there are certain people that we look to see what is their opinion, their perspective. Just because there's still people trying to figure their own opinions out. They're still trying to figure out their own value system and what it looks like to be on the other side of freedom. I got to learn how to create value. I got to trust myself that I know how to create value. And I can do that with my mind. I know I can do, right? We can do with our hands. It's so easy for us to get caught up with what our hands can do because we're so used to using our bodies to make money. We're so used to our bodies. Like we do what is it, done for you and done for you. And let me do this person's makeup. Let me go and do this person's hair. Let me go do this person's wardrobe. Let me go and do. But when it comes down to my mind, I'm scared of doing that. I forgot, I ain't know. Y'all ain't tell me that little string was hanging out here. Need to cut that. No, I'm just playing. YouTube, y'all quiet. Is this helping some of us? We gotta get to a place where we gotta clear the mind to create. And a lot of us are again, it's escapism. It's just escapism. I'm escaping what I gotta do. Some of us need to get on with it. Some of us are overthinking our own success. I told you I was going to come to a point where women were just like, do I really want to make money? I don't know if I really want to. Maybe money is overrated. Maybe being successful is overrated. Maybe being successful is just not. But time something happens where you're going to need something. How do I clear my mind, though, Jay? Let me go back to that. You got to get back to center. Okay. You got to get back to the center. And so what that looks like, and I need y'all to write some of this stuff down. You got to be able to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness. And I want everybody to hear what I'm getting ready to say. Mindfulness is a byproduct of you being able to stay current. You can plan for the future all day. Ain't nothing wrong with planning for the future because you're creating the future when you plan for it. Did y'all feel me? Does that make sense? When I am in the future, I'm creating the future. I'm not scared of the future. If I'm scared of the future, there is something wrong with my spiritual compass. There is something wrong with my faith level. Oof. Jay, hold on. Now, wait a minute, doggone it. Jay, I mean, that's a lot. It's not a lot when you start thinking about the entire ordeal of I'm trying to avoid doing the work on myself and staying in a place where my future is already created because I created it. Your calendar is your documentation tool. I don't care if it's digital or paper. The time that you plan out, the time that you take. Hold on, Facebook. Hold on. The time that we take to plan out is us taking control of how we spend our time. Because the mind, even though the mind is eternal, right? The mind is eternal. But in this body, I am governed by time. In this body. So this body that I have has to cease at some point. It's going to expire. And a lot of us are going to expire out of here and nobody's going to cry. Nobody's going to bat an eye. Nobody's going to be like, oh my God. Nobody, a lot of people, there are going to be people that's going to be so numb. But if you have done something in this realm to improve somebody else's life, where you used your mind to help them with a problem that they needed to solve, and to help them see themselves higher than they did before they had a conversation with you, that is a person that will honor the time that you spent with them. And they will be able to reflect and say, this is what she did. My mind was going crazy. My mind was da-da-da-da-da. And this is what so-and-so did. I was, look, and you can even tell how people even, how they talk. Because what did you make people feel? How did you make them feel? Because feeling is the result of the mind. So in order to help people to feel better and feel relieved and to feel a little bit more settled and to feel excited and to feel stable, to feel regulated, what are you doing with your mind? especially when you got a heavy assignment on your life, especially when you got a heavy anointing on your life, especially when you have a heavy story that you need to spell out and to fulfill and a destiny to fulfill. What are you filling your mind up with? What are you teaching your mind to think? What are you teaching your mind to feel? What are you teaching your mind to know? What information are you feeding your mind? Everybody want it. Everybody want to grab hold to your mind. You know why I'm saying this? And I'm going to jump here and I'm going to come back to what I'm saying. People been asking me for almost a year and a half, when am I going to teach coaching skills? Like just to coach. Jay, I want to learn how to coach. Like people want clients, but they don't necessarily know how to coach, right? Because some of y'all want clients, but you don't know how to serve them powerfully. I've had people to come to me and be like, because coach is not talking at people, it's asking powerful questions and letting them come into a space of self-awareness to help them lead themselves. Coaching is not telling people what to do all the time. Because if I build a business telling women what to do all the time to the point where they become so dependent on me, then I am not building women who are self-sufficient. I'm building women to worship me. Did y'all, I don't know if Facebook caught that. I'm building women up to worship me. I'm not building women up to see themselves. They just keep freezing. I'm not building women to walk in their divine daughtership with the Creator. I'm creating minions. Come on, somebody. I'm creating minions so that women can just follow me because they have become dependent on me. But am I creating clients that want to get to millions? And there's nothing wrong with having good relationships and retaining clients, because sometimes clients need to come back so they can get more and more empowered. That's different. But they are the great mother within. Amen, somebody. Y'all quiet on YouTube. They are the great mother. You are responsible for a percentage of people in this realm to help them get it together in some form of capacity. And much of that is going to come by way of you being understanding of mind matters. The matters of not just the matters of the heart, okay, quote unquote, matters of the mind. Matters of the mind. The matters of the mind is built on how can I help this client get herself back? How can I lead this client to the point where she's leading herself so that she can lead others to lead themselves? Because at the end of the day, we can't depend on institutions and the powers that be that want us locked into this mental jailhouse, okay? They want us locked into what they say that we're supposed to be. Because I'm going to tell you this, you got to get to a point where your identity is enough. When you keep reaching for identities, where am I? Who am I? Who I'm with? What church I go to? what religion am I? I identify with this race. I identify with this culture. I identify with this nation. I identify with this theology. I identify with this. What you're doing is telling God that you are not enough. You have to become somebody else in order to feel like. And when people come and says, but humans, we like community. We like community. There's nothing wrong with community. You're supposed to be in community, but if that community is not progressing to freedom, you're in the wrong community. I'm not supposed to be dependent on anybody. That's age of Aquarius. We're in a whole different timeline. We're in a whole different age. That's why you got a lot of people saying they don't care no more. People saying, I don't care. I don't care. I ain't going. I don't know. But then you got a lot of people that's stuck in trauma that want you to get into a groupthink situation where everybody is continuously feeding themselves with the same script. What I tell y'all? Now they got the whole, black woman, we're going to get over here and I sip our coffee. Ain't no wrong with sipping your coffee, but y'all been saying that for a month and a half now. And you still got to remind people that you're sipping your coffee. You're not sipping your coffee. You want to matter. And so when it gets to a place where you're addicted to mattering, we got to get out of there. You got to remember that you matter anyway. As long as you're still breathing on this side, as long as you are still moving in this side, as long as you are still flowing on this side, your identity should be enough. People ask you, are you a Christian? Are you a believer? Why can't I just be enough? Are you married? Are you a wife? Are you a mother? Why can't I just be enough? Why can't me being enough? I think my fulfillment was supposed to be this. At the end of the day, why can't you just be you? Why can't you be enough? Why does it matter? Y'all better talk back to me. To be in all these spaces where people are you trying to feel like you gotta fit in somewhere, I need you to take a step back and say, hey, just for you to be in a community or be in a collective, because you can't find other places to belong. Why can't you just belong to you? And go into spaces with your own thought process, with your own consent, and step into and say, I'm going over here with my full conscious because I want to progress in my life. You got to get to a place where you are enough. We're trying to have titles that we're not even qualified to step into, because it comes, because with every title comes responsibility. Everything that we want to call ourselves has a responsibility. Amen, somebody. I always tell people, like, you want to be a coach. You say you want to be a coach so bad. Do you know what kind of responsibility that takes? Because see, the world, the business marketplace makes it look extravagant, and you're going on the yachts and you're going on the things. And that's just that's a byproduct of the effectiveness and the impact that you make as a business owner or as a coach, right? That's the end game, right? That's on the other side of the work that you do with the qualification over and over again to prove your impact over and over again as an impactful, effective coach or consultant or service provider. But to do that work comes with great responsibility. And so when I see women that say they want to do this or do something, and they're not doing the work to get it and doing the work to step into it, Because now they're starting to see themselves as a liability as opposed to an asset, which is diabolical in itself. Because that's what I'm going to tell you to sit it down. When you start seeing yourself as a liability, that's a problem. Like, why even keep going? What hope do you have if you're not going to do right? If you're not going to step into what you're supposed to be doing and do the work? I mean, why even? Let me go get me a bottle of water. I mean, why even do? Because at this point, why? You know? Ain't this good? Is this good? Y'all with me? Meditation, staying in the realm of mindfulness. You got to stay in the realm of mindfulness. Every day, I need y'all to make it a point. Everybody needs to write this in the comments. Put this in the comments. You need to do at least 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. You need to write 10 to 15, 10-15. That's all I want you to write in the comments. 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes of meditation every morning. I need you to get back into the practice of that. Women, you need to do that. Fit that into your schedule with your prayer, with your reading. Do 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. And here comes all the people with, I try to concentrate. I can't concentrate. I can't do it. No. Okay. So I just told you, train your mind. No, your mind is not going to know. You haven't even, you got to practice. You got to practice. You know, your body. Woo, this is good. Here we go. Your brain has programmed the body to be antsy, a busybody. You're a busybody. You don't know how to sit down. That's why you can't concentrate on that. That's why you'll never finish anything. You gotta practice. You gotta practice. Anything that you want to do takes practice. Just like sales. A lot of y'all push back on sales. Like, I don't understand. You gotta practice. If you want to convert people, it takes practice. Right? So meditation is your soul stealing itself, your mind stealing itself. Your mind can be visualization. It could be the place where you are seeing yourself out, or you just allowing yourself to think thoughts without any judgment from yourself. Okay. Okay. We've got, it's in order to be successful, you got to retrain your brain how to think with creativity, how to sit itself down so that you can allow new thoughts to come in. Your body has been programmed to be in all the things. This is why a lot of y'all can't read. And I'm not saying read as far as a actual competency. I'm talking about that you can't read things for too much long. Like you do 1 or 2 pages, or even you can, some of y'all can't even get to half a page without checking your phone, or let me go there. Let me look at, let me text somebody. Then you interrupt everything. You allow interruptions. You allow disruptions. And you wonder why you can't create things. This is why mankind is going down the toilet. Humankind is off. That's right, Elocin. You gotta train your mind how to think different. This is training season. This whole year, all 2025, this is a year of judgment. So everybody know where they at. The weight and the balance of their weight is showing up. You looking at your bank account right now and you saying to yourself, oh, I've been in my business for all this time. It's awareness season. Look at it. What did you do in it? Like, look at your 2024. Look at your 2023. Look at your 2022, 2021. 2025 is the year of judgment. It ain't about judging other people. It's about looking at yourself and saying, wait a minute, where am I at on this? Because I'm off. Because everybody want to go judge somebody else. Oh, look at him. And she ain't come. And why ain't do this? And why they ain't show up? And why he ain't. And I'm deactivating. And I'm unfollowing. And I'm blocking. Did you do anything for anybody in the past 12 months while you trying to unblock and unfollow people that don't think like you? We can't allow people to be in the same spaces with us just because they have a difference in opinion that you don't even encounter, because they were fine yesterday. They were fine 6 months ago. Y'all were kicking in the DMs, and all of a sudden, I'm blocking. You know why we do that? Because we ain't been free from our mind yet. Our mind is still controlled by a narrative of a fake bourgeoisie, of a fake system that wants to suppress your soul and your mind. So you're going to have to come to grips with the fact that you are in the year of judgment, and you are also in the year where it starts the golden age. If you can learn how to practice, if you can steel yourself to practice meditation, reading 2 to 3 pages, even if you tell yourself, let me tell you, let me help you. Okay. When I read, okay? So I've been off TikTok for a few days now. It ain't been that long because TikTok just shut down not so long ago, right? Okay. Now, everybody, and I, first of all, I want to say, like I said at the beginning of this video, thank you for everybody who tried to help me to get back on TikTok. Y'all been saying, Coach, you get back on TikTok. I'm going to help you get back on TikTok. All you got to do is go here. But I'm going to tell you, God is good. And I needed a break from TikTok for a little bit because I've been able to return back to my mind. I'm about to run. And the wake-up call came, you know, some of y'all knew that my grandfather passed. This is my maternal grandmother, my mother's father. Okay, so we were very close to him. And so this man used to pick me up from school and all that kind of stuff. And let me stop before I get teary-eyed, because we had his funeral, I think it's this weekend. So what I'm trying to tell you is that anytime I know somebody passed away in my family, it's a wake-up call. It's usually a wake-up call for me, because it's like, you ain't got long, boo. And then you consider the type of life they lived, and all of the dreams and desires that they had to go in the ground with them, right? So you start to consider all these different things. You're like, man, I know that they said they want to do this and do that. Okay, right. So with all that being said, and this is only personal for me, this is not for anybody else, but if this is conviction, let it be conviction, because we don't have time to be mad at people. We really don't. Thank you, Kyla. But this, I got back, and it was so, because y'all, I couldn't find this book for a whole year. Okay, I could not find this book for a whole year. This is Power of Now. Okay, Power of Now. Eckhart Tolle. And I don't know what happened, but last night I was kind of, sprucing up the place or whatever. And I looked in the box and I was like, is that a book? And Lord behold, still had all my, y'all see, when I say I read. I highlight, I underline, I get, it's study hall for me. I don't play. I'm a bookworm. And this morning, Where did that part go? Because, baby, when I tell you I almost got up and ran. Woo, baby. Let me tell you. When it said, because I quoted it the other day, and it said here on page, what is this? I ain't got my glasses on. 68. On page 68, it says, so do not be concerned with the fruit of your action. The fruit. I'm going to say this again. So, this is how I started off the paragraph. So do not be concerned with the fruit of your action. What does that mean? Do not be concerned about the outcome of what your actions will bring in. Just give attention to the action itself. Let's break that down. They're right there. Every time I read this sentence, it do something to me. And say, don't be attached to the outcome. Jasmine, why are you scared to mark up your books, baby? They're your books. Ain't nobody gonna. Don't be concerned. Do not be concerned. The power of now. Do not be concerned with the fruit. You know, they say they will know them by their what? Fruit. You will know people by their fruit. So the fruit is what? What they produce. What you produce is the fruit. When you look around you, it's taking me everything to hold my mute. When you look around you and you look at your life, and not the money per se, but look at your life. It's a byproduct of the actions, but it started with thought. Thought is the seed. The action was the nurturing and the growth of that which you thought. And it wasn't, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am kind. No. The programming that's in the back of your mind. So you had to think that thought enough for it to create a neural pathway in the brain to reprogram your body to do what that new belief system said to do. This is why we're converting in different belief systems all the time. So when I look at your life and you in the same predicament that you were 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's showing me a couple of things. Number one, your mind has not taken on a new belief system. Y'all, somebody help me. Woo! Come on, somebody. When you're not programming your thoughts, when you're not programming your mind, which is the unseen version of you. It's the unseen version. It's the soul. I am my soul. What you see is the body. It's a costume. It's a costume. So depending on how much energy I have, depending on the output that I put out, the value that I put out without judgment of myself, trying to figure out if it's going to be perfect, trying to figure out if anybody going to buy it. What if they don't buy it? What if they don't like it? I'm creating anyway because I'm not worried about the fruit of the action. I'm only focused on the action itself because the action is telling me, I believe this is going to be of value to somebody. Value. I just got to now get into a space where somebody will think of this masterpiece that I have created as a byproduct of my mind as an expert, because I'm always refining myself. I got to get better at what I'm doing because I'm always shooting for better. I'm always going after better. I'm not there yet. Oh, Jay is such a good coach. Yeah. But I'm always refining myself. I'm always believing more because I'm always thinking about the actions. And I'm thinking about my thoughts. I'm thinking about my belief system. Because the fruit is always going to come forth. Oh, Jay moved into another place. Because it was the fruit. This is the fruit. This is the place. Again, it's the fruit of what you see. It's one of them. Y'all, I'm not bragging. I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Look, it's a fruit. It's the fruit of your mind. Because your actions, you trained your brain how to produce on your behalf. See, that contrarian start on February 6th. Then you got this coaching program starting. I'm telling you, but see, this is February 6th stuff. This is contrarian collective stuff that I'm talking about right here. My head about to start hurting. Hold on. If it's going in and out Facebook, y'all need to come on to YouTube if it's bothering you. Okay, so let me start over. So do not be concerned with the fruit of your own actions. Don't be concerned about the fruit of your actions. Just give attention to the action itself. Focus on that. Not the, okay? The fruit will come. Listen to me. The fruit will come of its own accord. You no longer, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The moment your attention turns to the now, the moment your attention turns to the now, the moment your attention turns into the present moment, to right now, nothing else matters but right now. You feel a presence. That's why I just went up right there. Because I'm not worried about anything else but the present moment. But talking to y'all, I got to know that when I'm talking to y'all and in presence, that my baby is all right. I'm not concerned about, oh, is Maddie okay? Is Maddie okay? Is Beyonce okay? Is Maddie okay? Because right now, God is in the now. God is not, the future hasn't been created yet. God is not in my past. God is in the now. Y'all, okay. You no longer depend on the future. Here we go. This is going to hit some of y'all right here. Right here. This is where a lot of y'all, because you're worried about the wrong stuff. You no longer depend on the future for fulfillment and satisfaction. Hold on. You don't look for it for salvation. You got people right now that's waiting to get to heaven. I'm ready to get to this. I'm ready for Jesus to come back. Jesus is coming back, and girl, all this stuff going on, and girl, it's so much stuff going on in the world, girl. I know Jesus on his way back. What are you doing here? What are you doing right now? What did you do today? What did you do today? Did you sit and be depressed? I gave myself a moment, right? You give yourself moments to feel things that frustrate you. Maybe make a little post about it, and then you go on. Like last night, I was very disappointed that Memphis let go of our superintendent. And that affects my child in the school district, because it's a school district that I graduated from. And I felt like the superintendent did a very good job for the amount of months that she had been here. And she stood on business. And the city just ousted her with, I don't know, right? It was just ugly, right? And so I gave myself a chance to be frustrated, right? So, but when I started looking at the future, though, and I started saying, oh, these children, the babies, and, I started thinking about it, like Madeline, and, she got one more year, though, there ain't no telling what is going. I said, you know what, we're going to be all right. See, that's when you got to come back to your mind. Because, see, your mind will go somewhere else and you're supposed to be going. Your mind will go to worst case scenarios. Your mind will start going to places and the whole school is closed and everything taken, everything just going down here. Your mind will start creating stories based on worst case scenarios, because that's what you trained your mind to think all the time. And that's what your experience will be. Wait a minute. But I can't depend on the future to bring me that which I want. I have to decide that it is happening now. That right now, my daughter is in a good school. Right now, we're safe. Right now, I'm okay. Right now, I'm creating a masterpiece. Right now, I am building relationships with people that I don't even know intentionally. I'm being led by spirit every single day to do the right things at the right time, because I'm in the right time right now. Who I am today. Who I am today is enough for the future that I desire. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to be concerned about that, because I can stand in the fruit of it now, even though it ain't shown up yet. You may not see the fruit, but I'm walking in it. Do y'all understand what I just said? Did that help you? Did that resonate? Because, see, the fruit is what everybody gonna see. Woo! Baby, the fruit is what everybody else see. I'm about to, y'all gonna break out of Rome when but I already know what the fruit is. I already know what the fruit is, because my belief, the seed was already planted. Because when you come into an awareness and you understand why you are where you are, you understand why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, because you come into a full awareness of who you are. And then you start to say, that's because I've been thinking the wrong stuff. I've been thinking the stuff that I ain't supposed to be thinking about, because I said I was going to change. And when the seeds that you have sown over time and the nurturing part is believing that it's going to come to pass because worst case scenarios have always been in your wheelhouse, always been a part of your thought process. And because you're so afraid to step into the unknown, you tend to think the same stuff over and over again because it keeps you around people that kind of think along the same lines. And then you want to be mama to everybody and tell everybody we need to get free, we need to get free. But you around here telling people they need to get free when you ain't free yourself. And so they're not convinced that you're even telling the truth, because what do they see? They see your fruit. This is why you can't convince your mama and them. This is why you can't convince your aunties and them. This is why your friends ain't going, they ain't even believing anything that you say, because you keep telling them, we got to get together, girl. We got to go buy land. We got to go, we got to go. But they looking at the fruit. You need to start shutting your mouth. You hush your mouth. And you got to do this alone. Sometimes you got to get to a place you plant your own garden. You got to plant your own garden. And some of that's going to be by yourself. You can't depend on nobody to water your garden for you. Spirit even told me, because you know, y'all know I'm people like, don't you want to get married again? I'm like, no. I'm like, no. Spirit be like, girl, that's because you worried about the fruit. You worried about the fruit. You ain't worried about the actions of walking in another set of belief systems and believing for yourself that you are worthy of love. I'm going to help somebody right here. So whatever it is that you are believing that you want, but you haven't believed it yet for yourself, that means that you're going to have to start stepping into what is it going to take for me to start walking in this as it is in my mind as the fruit and the manifestation, that which I desire. So which means that I'm going to have to start walking as if it's already done before everybody else see that it's done. Because when you have I need piece of fruit. When you have an apple, you see the fruit. That's the finished work of the seed, right? But when you get a seed and you put it in your hand and you say, what kind of seed is this? The average person that don't know gardening like myself, I would say, girl, I don't know. You don't know what kind of seed that is? I don't know what kind of seed that is. But you know what it is. You know what the seed is. But in that seed is the fruit. I got to get off of here. I'm about to tell this kitchen. That seed includes the fruit. In that one little seed, faith the size of a mustard seed. So before you sit up in the morning, stop allowing external influences to teach you and tell you what to think. Because you got stuff to create and produce. And that's going to take a cleaned and cleansed and purified and a renewal of your mind. You gotta tell your brain what to think. Everybody's trying to get your soul in the morning. Everybody's trying to get your soul in the morning, which includes picking up your phone and letting that be the first thing that get in your hand and you start doing this. You immediately are programmed to tell your brain what to think that day. Mess, drama. Girl, did you see so-and-so? Girl, look at this. Trauma, trauma, drama, drama, all the stuff. Drama, drama, drama. Politics, baby daddy stuff, so-and-so doing this. Celebrity news. Did you tell yourself, did you remind yourself of the fruit that you're supposed to be bringing forth? Get to a place you don't even touch your phone for the first 3 to 4 hours of the day, because those 3 to 4 hours of the day is the window, is the portal. How you start your day. Because at the end of the day, every day there's a fruit. Even if you don't see what you're going to see, it's still the same fruit. You ain't nothing changed because you're still in the same. I want you to start even challenging yourself that every day I'm going to produce something. I don't know what I'm producing, but it needs to be something moving towards what the fruit is going to be. So if you know how to create products, you got to sell them, right? Okay. So now that you can sell them and you don't know how to, that's another layer of fruit. So you know how to produce a document or a course. Good for you. Congratulations. Now let's produce clients. Let's produce cash. We know that comes in the hands of people, but that comes also by way of what do I imagine the type of clients or the type of customers that's going to enjoy this particular product. Okay, so I put the price on there, right? I put the price on there. And depending on my actions, I can then bring in the type of client, the type of customer that would actually be very satisfied with what I have produced. And as a byproduct, they give me money in exchange for what I have produced. Once they take that production, that product, that service, they sign up for a session or whatever that is, immediately there is a level there should be a sense of relief that comes to that person, unless that person does not take actions. This is why you can have all the intent in the world and not do anything with it, because you're not aligning with the fruit that you want to produce. You keep bringing forth the same fruit. You're always producing fruit. It's the kind of fruit that you need to change. And when we don't produce the type of fruit that we want to experience, that's because many times we were too obsessed with if the fruit was going to change or not. So what that looked like is that you look too much at the end, knowing that you're not doing anything to get that type of fruit, but you're obsessed over it because you don't believe yourself enough that you are valuable enough to experience a different type of fruit that is more delicious, that is more nourishing, that is more succulent, that is more irresistible, that is more peaceful, right? Like when I go to the store and I pick up a mango and I bite into that mango and it's hard and it's, it ain't juice, it ain't just, like, oh, that is. But if I go to the store on the right season and I know the season, and I go to the store and I buy it, buy the mango, right? And I get home and I bite it and it's juicy, it's sweet, and it's like, yes. Like, oh, so good. I love mangoes and grapes are my favorite fruit, by the way. I love me a good mango. I got mangoes in the refrigerator. Okay? And grapes in the refrigerator. I keep grapes and I keep mango. And what I'm trying to tell you is something good about biting into a juicy fruit. It's like, ooh, so good. Your whole being is immersed into that fruit because it's so good, right? Your experience has up leveled for even for that moment for the piece of fruit. So with that being said, if I keep going in the wrong season, and I keep going to get mango out of season, I'm gonna keep running to the same problem. Or I'm going to the store that I know got the same. What I'm trying to tell you is, think about that when it comes down to your life and to your business. That if I want something different, I gotta move when the creator tells me to move. When spirit says move, move. Because you're too worried about the fruit. I'm gonna read this last part. We gotta get out of here. You no longer depend on the future for fulfillment and satisfaction. You don't look for it for salvation. Therefore, you are not attached to the results. Neither failure nor success has the power to change your inner state of being. Neither failure nor success has the power to change your inner state of being. So my inner state of being is the fruit experience before the world see it. The inner state of being is knowing that the fruit is there no matter what. I don't care what's going on with the economy. The fruit is still there. The fruit don't change. The fruit doesn't change when I start to create the right thoughts, because eventually the fruit is going to appear. In the absence, listen to me, in the absence of psychological time, your sense of self is derived from being. In the absence of psychological time, that means you go into the flow state. The flow state is where you want to be when you lose all track of time, when you're in the God mind. In the God mind, it's creative. You don't care about the success or the failure of the thing. You're in flow state, which means that you look up and it's 2 hours. You're like, how in the world? I forget what time it was because I'm in the flow state. I've lost track of time because I'm in the God mind. Here we go. Your sense of self is derived from being, not from your personal past. Therefore, the psychological need to become anything other than who you are already is no longer there. Okay, I'm gonna read that one more time because I don't think y'all got that. In the absence of psychological time, your sense of self is derived from being, not from your personal past. Therefore, the psychological need to become anything other than who you are already, the fruit, who you said you were becoming. So you're a millionaire now. You're a multi-millionaire now. If you could believe that and you start sowing the seeds and you continue to sow the seed and it starts to sprout through the soil. And then that's when you got a belief system going on. You didn't create another neural pathway. So now your brain is like, oh, okay, there's an evidence. Even though we don't see it yet, she implanted it in me. This is the brain saying, she has implanted in me that we're a millionaire. So let me start producing a millionaire, which means my actions start to match that of a millionaire, the pursuit of a millionaire. So it ain't going to be 5 years down the line, I can get to a millionaire status by the end of the year because I'm doing something new with my mind. See, when you say I'm a man, it don't mean a hill of beans if your butt ain't getting up from the couch. Your fruit is always producing. It's the kind of fruit that you want. That's the issue. In the world, on the level of your life situation, you may indeed become wealthy, knowledgeable, successful, free of this or free of that, but in the deeper dimension, you are complete and whole now. This is good. I don't care what y'all say. This is good. When you lose now, you spiral. When y'all start spiraling, you ain't in it now no more. When you start getting frustrated and looking what everybody else is doing, you done lost your now. Okay? I'm looking for some of y'all to be in the coaching skills accelerators coming up March 1st. Also to join the Contrarian Collective that starts February 6th. For some of y'all that want to straighten up their mind and prepare for the world that's unfolding before us, look at the Stand Store, get yourself together, get into the right space, because everything that you are doing right now is a byproduct of how you are nurturing the fruit that you want to come forth. Okay. All right. Let me go and finish my work for the day. This was good. Did y'all enjoy this? That book is good. It's one of my favorite books. One of my faves. All right, y'all. Go do something productive. Go retrain your brain. Go retrain your mind. Okay? Y'all got this. Bye, Facebook. We're going on. All right, YouTube. Go make some money.